Imagine meeting the love of your life by chance on a train, while escaping the pressures of a life full of responsibilities. That's what we'll see in today's story. Come with me. Amid smiles, conversations, and a touch of courage, they discover that the true value of life lies in the connections we make and the dreams we have the courage to follow. At the end of the story, tell me below in the comments what you thought. Joseph was a very rich man, but he felt very alone. He was the son of a large shareholder and a famous wine producer. When he was just 9 years old, his parents disappeared at sea after a plane crash, and Joseph was left an orphan. This event left him very traumatized, and he was never able to overcome his fear of flying, even 25 years after the accident that changed his life. Despite having a lot of money, he was never able to fulfill his dream of seeing the world because of this fear. Joseph only traveled by land, because the sea reminded him of his parents. He lived in New York City, and whenever he wanted a change of scenery, he would go to the train station and buy tickets to Boston. There is a daily train on this route. He never warned anyone when he decided to go on these trips. He was tired of leading a company that wasn't his creation. The company was his father's dream, whose face he only remembered from photographs. Taking care of the company alone was very difficult, as he carried the family name and legacy. His advisors always said he needed to continue to preserve his parents' fortune and memory. Joseph felt a mix of guilt and sadness whenever he thought about selling everything and starting over. He felt embarrassed saying it out loud because no one seemed to support him or listen to what he really wanted to do. Even with his trauma, he loved traveling and taking photos. He also loved painting pictures, but he never showed them to anyone. To have a peaceful place where he could relax, he bought a house on the beach, away from the pressures of work and the business world. One day, Joseph woke up to the sun shining through his apartment window. He looked at the clock. It was 7 a.m. As always, he got up, did some stretches, took a shower, brushed his teeth and went to work. When he arrived at the company, Joseph was shocked. There were party balloons everywhere and a bunch of shareholders he didn't even know. They were old, ambitious men from various parts of the country, all there to curry favor with the heir who owned the majority of the company. That's when Joseph remembered it was his 35th birthday. This scared him. He realized how quickly his life was passing by and that, even with all the resources, he wasn't living the way he wanted. Instead, he was doing what others expected of him. After the party ended and he got rid of the sycophants, Joseph locked himself in his room. He looked at a picture frame on the table, with the last photo he had taken with his parents. As he looked at that photo, he saw the radiant smiles and lively faces of his parents. He realized that life was too short not to enjoy it. His parents were almost the same age as him when the plane crashed into the sea. If they were there, they certainly wouldn't want to see him stuck in an office, wasting his precious time, something money couldn't buy back. Determined to change, Joseph opened the railway website and bought a ticket to the coast, determined to make a one-way trip. The next day, he woke up very early. Without bothering to pack, he threw some clothes into a backpack, grabbed his wallet with his credit and debit cards and headed straight to the train station. His destination was Miami, a city with beautiful beaches. During the long train journey, Joseph dreamed of the pictures he still wanted to paint. He was excited and happy to leave everything behind without worrying about what others would think. During the journey, the train stopped at several stations to pick up new passengers. Halfway there, the train stopped at a small station. Some people came aboard, and it was then that Joseph noticed a young woman who caught his attention. She was having trouble carrying a large suitcase onto the train. Seeing that the staff were busy, Joseph quickly got up and ran to her to help her carry her suitcase. Just before the doors closed and the train started to move, the girl thanked, "Thank you very much for your help." Joseph looked into her eyes for the first time. Her hair was short and curly, shining in the carriage light. She wore simple clothes and had a natural appearance, without makeup or expensive perfumes. Despite her simplicity, she was, without a doubt, the most charming woman he had ever seen. "Do you think they would close the door without you?" Joseph asked, almost stuttering. "I wouldn't pay to see it," replied the girl, smiling. My name is Miley. Joseph introduced himself and helped Miley find her seat. By coincidence, her ticket number was exactly the seat next to his. They spent hours talking about the sights of the trip and discussing their plans for the future. Joseph did not have the courage to reveal his true identity. Joseph was hesitant to say that he was the son of millionaires who died in a plane crash. He also feared appearing arrogant by revealing that he owned a wine company. So he decided to keep it simple and told Miley that he was just a dreamy painter, traveling to Miami for inspiration. Furthermore, he was afraid of pushing Miley away and ending the pleasant conversation they were having. Joseph was truly enchanted by her and wanted to hear everything she had to tell him. Joseph discovered that Miley had just graduated as an architect from an online college. She was nervous because this would be her first formal job at an architecture firm. Miley was afraid that they would find the way she spoke strange, that they would try to take advantage of her lack of experience, or, even worse, that she would fail. She said that she would have to take a test on the spot, an architectural drawing that her bosses would ask to evaluate her skills. Just thinking about it made Miley want to cry. He tried to calm Miley down, telling her she would do fine. When they arrived at their destination, they exchanged phone numbers and promised to talk to each other to tell them about their achievements. Over the next few days, Joseph couldn't stop thinking about Miley. Her phone rang non-stop, but it was just company executives wanting to know her whereabouts. He ignored all the calls, wishing to speak only to the girl he met on the train. As he spent hours painting pictures by the sea, Joseph thought about Miley's words, the fear she felt and the great determination to achieve her goals. These were feelings that Joseph had never experienced, as his goals were always decided by other people. This motivated him to pluck up the courage and make the call on his own. "I thought you were never going to call again," Miley said, answering the other end of the line. "I didn't want to make you anxious." "Did the test go well?" Joseph asked. "Unfortunately, no," Miley replied, discouraged. She was thinking about returning home, as without her job there was no point in spending her savings in the city. Joseph asked to see her one more time, and she accepted. They met on the beach and spent the whole day talking. They seemed so connected that they didn't even notice time passing. When night came and the moon appeared in the sky, Miley told almost her entire life. Then it was Joseph's turn to share her story. He didn't mention that he was a millionaire, but he talked about his parents and how he felt alone in the world. Before they knew it, Joseph and Miley kissed for the first time. On that same beach, they spent a night together, without worrying about the future. The love between them was so strong that Miley decided to stay in the city for longer. Joseph took her to a house on the beach, saying it belonged to her boss. There they got even closer, and Joseph's desire to tell the whole truth only grew in his heart, but he still lacked courage. Just as Joseph was about to reveal everything, Miley did something unexpected. After hearing the story he told and seeing the beautiful pictures he painted, Miley left early one morning and came back with an envelope in her hands. She said she had used the rest of her savings to enter one of Joseph's paintings in an art competition. "You are a great artist and deserve to be recognized," she said. "I did it because I saw in your eyes the sadness of never doing what you truly love. Therefore, I decided to use what little I had left to make the dream of the man I am in love with come true." Joseph was surprised and moved by Miley's gesture. He felt a rush of gratitude and love for her. He knew he needed to be honest and tell the whole truth about her life. Joseph was surprised when Miley explained that, having used her last savings to enter her painting in the competition, she would now have to return home as she no longer had money to support herself and look for work. He begged her to stay a little longer, at least until the festival, and she accepted. The festival was an event to raise funds for the renovation of a theater, and few artists had signed up. When the day of the festival arrived, Joseph and Miley were nervous but hopeful. Against all expectations, Joseph won first place in the contest. Miley was beaming with joy and pride. They celebrated together, and at that moment, Joseph knew he needed to be honest with Miley about her true identity. Her love and courage inspired him to finally live his truth. When Joseph took the microphone to thank him for the award, he decided to do something unexpected. Instead of just saying thank you, he told the whole truth. Joseph revealed that although he felt lonely and lost, he never mentioned that he was a rich man. Even so, Miley did something for him that money never could. She brought him joy, hope, and most importantly, courage to pursue his dreams and free himself from the past. Miley was surprised to discover Joseph's true identity. At first, she was a little shocked and speechless, but when she saw the sincerity in his eyes, she realized that the love and friendship between them was genuine. Instead of pulling away, Miley felt an even stronger connection with Joseph, admiring his humility and courage to reveal the truth. As the money raised at the festival was not enough to renovate the theater, Joseph decided to donate the remaining amount needed, with one condition: Miley would be the architect responsible for the renovation. She accepted with enthusiasm, and together they began a new stage in their lives, full of love, creativity, and new dreams. Afterwards, Joseph decided to sell all the shares in his father's company. He didn't want to be stuck in the past anymore. With a light heart, he moved to Miami to follow Miley, the girl he met by chance on the train, but who changed his life forever. The move to Miami marked a new beginning for Joseph. He and Miley worked together on renovating the theater, combining their talents and dreams. Every day, the bond between them grew stronger. Joseph found a happiness and peace that he had never felt before. The theater reopened with great success, and the community celebrated the beautiful transformation that Miley and Joseph brought. During the opening ceremony, Joseph gave an emotional speech, thanking Miley for bringing color and purpose to her life. He took advantage of the situation and asked her to marry him. Miley, in turn, accepted without even thinking twice. She felt grateful for having found someone like Joseph. She never imagined she would be experiencing a great love, which came about in such an unexpected way. They realized that together they could face any challenge and create a bright future. Did you like this story? Enjoy and leave a like, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss our next exciting stories. Thanks for watching and see you next time.